Okay, we need to add one more very important loop to this chapter, and that is the counting for loop. So it's probably the most common loop you will ever use, and let's get us a new trinket up. Python 3. Okay, so it is a for loop, so we will start with for. We need a loop counting variable. I is a very common one used here. And we want to use in range the lower limit and the upper limit. And then we end with a colon so that we know there's more, there's a block to come that is part of this loop. And then inside here, as long it's indented and it's inside the colon area, so these are the things that we will repeat actually 9 times. So it's important to note that this loop will start with the lower limit, and it will increase by 1 each time through the loop. But when it hits that upper limit, it will stop. So if here we say print I, and now we're done. If we run that, it's going to run 9 times. It's going to print 1 through 9. We can obviously put more statements in here. We can create this variable before the loop, and inside here we can say total equals total plus I, and we take away the indent, and now we're outside the loop. Print total. So now we have, well, let's make it clear what we're doing here. So here we go. So what's happening here is we have initialized this variable total to 0 before we start the loop. And then we're going into a for loop. This is a counting loop, so we're going to do this. Whatever's inside this loop, we're going to do it 9 times. So from 1 to stop when we get to 10 and don't go on. So 9 times, we're going to print I. We're going to add I to our total. So this is a running total. When we exit the loop, we're going to print our total. And you can see that this is how this works. It prints I each time, and then it prints the total when we're done. So this is a very important concept. And you can also have a variable here. So let's say upper limit equals 20. We can put I in range 1 to upper limit. I took away my comma. Let's put that comma back in. So now we've got this as a variable, which hint, hint, we could take as an input, and then we can do this here. I say hint, hint because of your assignment. So this is how this works. This one could also be any number. It could also be a variable. What if you actually want to do this 20 times instead of 19 times? you can simply do some math here. Upper limit plus 1. Now it will work 20 times. We will get that number 20 in there. You can also do another loop inside this loop. And nest anything else that you need to nest. You can nest ifs and such like in there. You can put another comma if you don't want to go up just by 1. You can put something else here. So now it's going to go up by 2's. So this is called the step variable. So now we started with 1. We did our loop body. We come back up here. Now we add 2. So now the second time through the loop, I is 3. And it will go up by 2's each time. You can also go backwards. So we could start at 20 and go down to 1 and go backwards. So now our step is a -1. We're starting with 20. We're ending at 1, and we're decrementing each time. So let's see what happens here. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. We started at 21 because upper limit is 20, and we started at 20 plus 1. So we started this at 21, and we stopped. When we get to 1, we stop, and we do not execute what's inside the loop. So I hope all that makes sense, and this should help you with your assignment.